It's working.
Oh, good.
We're recording.
You're gonna ask the questions, Diane?
Are we recording already?
So you'll do is talk into this,
Okay.
and then move it over, so that.
Okay.
Okay,
in the way
so I
I
gotta
like,
go
'cause I
first?
can
move
Yeah,
on.
let's start down the other end.
Well, I'm
This-
going to answer your question, then you can
Yeah,
decide.
then you
All
can.
right, right.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you please tell us your name?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you please tell us your name, your birth date, and your relationship to each other, and where we are right now?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
My name is Bob Dornfried.
Speak
I'm talking. Come on, don't
Speak
speak
up.
up, Peggy. September 17th, 1931. What was the other part of the question?
What's your relationship?
Your relationship
Oh,
to...
we're all brothers. You know that.
Well, you gotta say it though, you gotta say we're all brothers.
And what else was it?
And
Who's the
where are we?
youngest?
We're
Where
at
are
Maureen's house on
Okay.
Edgewood Road, across from
we?
the
In
farm.
Kensington, Connecticut.
Oh, in Kensington, yeah.
Across from the farm, that's
Across from
right.
the farm.
Across from the farm. What'd you say, Peggy?
Pass it over to your brother.
Give it to John.
You gotta push this button up or what?
No, just talk.
Just talk.
Just talk.
I already-
It's recording.
Just gotta talk on this thing? Oh, okay. My name is Johnny Dornfried. I live in Meriden, Connecticut.
When were you born?
When was I born? 1925, that's a year I'll
What's
never
the date?
forget.
What date?
Date? 29th of March. Yep.
You'll
Give it
never
to Bill
forget
now?
Yeah. No, you didn't
I
tell
was
us where
talking
you were.
about
Where are you?
know.
Where are you now?
Oh, yeah, you forgot to tell me.
Who are these two men with you?
These two fellas on me, one is Robert on the right, and the other one's my other brother on the left. I'll let him tell his name, though. I won't say his name.
Sure.
You can hear it after. Okay, bye-bye.
Hi, this is Bill Dornfried. I was born May 23rd, 1929. We're at the Edgewood Road at Maureen's house. And these two guys are my brothers, Bob and John. That's about all. Goodbye.
There's a lot more you could say.
What do you want to
Wait,
say?
Well, later
let's
on,
see,
I'll
hold on.
have a lot to say.
Let's,
Oh,
I just,
yeah,
you
I'm
know
talking
what?
about too
I
much
want to
already.
make sure that we
Let's hear
are,
what you're
Yeah, we're
saying.
recording.
that we're recording.
Is that taking our picture of him over here?
Yeah.
Make movies.
Edgewood Road at Maureen's house, and these two guys are my brothers, Bob and John. That's about all. Goodbye.
There's a lot more you could say.
Okay.
Okay, so now,
Next-
all right,
what's the
so we're
next
gonna start,
question?
okay, okay.
Okay, you gonna
All
take the
right,
next
well,
one?
Yeah,
I'm
take
gonna
the
ask
next
you,
one.
I'm gonna ask you some questions,
Go
and you
ahead.
can pass the microphone to whoever has a response, if you
Bob,
wanna
have the
pass.
answers.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the happiest moment in your life?
What was the happiest moment in your life?
One of the happiest days was with my mother. She took us up the street up there, and she had milk and cake. And she put the milk in the water up there, which cooled it off, and it was real delicious. I'll remember that forever. Bob was too small. The other guys went picking up blueberries. So she had to stay home with Bob, and I had to stay home too. There you go.
Good, Bob, you're next.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
No,
No.
see,
No, we were on picking blueberries. Your old Bob was too small.
Bob was too small. He was sleeping under the bushes.
What bushes?
Blueberry bushes.
Oh,
Oh, that's when you went picking
What was the
blueberries?
question? The happiest
The
day?
happiest moment,
Yeah.
moment,
the happiest moment.
yeah.
Wow, I would say probably when Peggy said I do. See, I gotta say, that's it. Here, John.
Wait, you didn't say too much, Bob.
Oh, that's all I gotta
What's his
say.
happiest moment?
Happiest moment.
Do you have one, Uncle John?
Wait, what do you want to know?
Your happiest moment.
My happiest moment? Let me see, I gotta think for a minute though, because I got so many happy moments, you know. Yeah. When I married Franny, when I had my little kids, I had two little girls. One was Kathy, and the other was Maria. Yep, they're grown up girls now though. And that was my happiest moments.
Can you tell us, who was the most important person in your life?
Who was the most important
Yeah.
person in my life?
Yeah.
My wife and my family is my most important people in my life, and then the brothers and sisters and all the friends and families and everybody, they're all very much important to me.
You want me next?
Yeah, you gotta get
Oh yeah, same with me. There's a lot of important people in my life, but I think in everybody's life, their mother is the most important person in their life.
It's gotta be.
There's no question. The father can die and you know, they die, but when the mother dies, that's really
Throws everything off.
sad, you know, but mothers are the most important. Billy, you're next.
Yeah. Most important person is Franny and the kids, and like Bob says, the parents. There you go.
You already
That's all I
already
have to
said
say
that's all
then.
you have to say?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not
Yeah.
talking to
Talk.
me.
Maria's
You're not
gonna ask you
talking
a
to us.
question.
Yeah, Maria got a question.
No,
I
no.
have a
I already-
question now. My question is, I want each of you to tell me your first memory, like your
My
first
first
cognizant memory of being on the farm. What is your first
Oh.
memory? Think back, like when was the first time that you think when you're a kid that you can remember being there?
On the farm, Christ, that was forever we were on the farm.
Could you remember it?
Yeah. I can remember Frank putting a bushel basket on top of Bobby, and my mother yelling at him when they went picking blueberries because he was a pain in the neck.
Oh, you never were a pain in the neck. Oh, you're a good guy. Okay, the first thing I remember on the farm is, I don't know, it was during the summertime and I was out in the yard there, and somehow the horse got loose and he was running from the back of
He was
the,
galloping, not
Yeah.
running, galloping.
from the back
Remember
lot,
that, huh?
and he jumped right over me.
He jumped right over.
Right over me.
Right
Instead of,
over.
you know,
Right
running
over.
through me, he jumped right over me.
Right over,
That's what
yeah.
I remember.
How big were you? Like were you?
I was maybe about, I don't know, 3, 4 years old.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
You remember that,
Yeah, I
John?
remember that horse. I still see him coming.
Yeah.
He's coming. Ba-dum, 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 boom.
He jumped right over me. All right, you're next, John.
Okay, that
What's
was
your-
good memory Bobby got. They brought that back to me, so I remember that day too. That was really something to see that horse jump over him.
Yeah.
Yep. I
What's
forgot
your-
what
I never
the name
told
of
you
the
that,
horse
okay.
was.
What's the name of the horse?
The horse was Blackie. He was a white horse. They called him Blackie.
His name was Blackie, he said, but I can't remember his name. Well, I know we had Silver.
Yeah, I remember
Remember
Silver.
Silver? We had Silver. That was years ago after though.
Yeah.
I was a lot bigger. Okay, you got any more questions?
What's your earliest memory?
Oh,
of
my
the
other, oh, I forgot to get my earliest memory here. My earliest memory was, I think I remembered when, I probably was about 3 or 4 years old. I can remember the chickens. That's the one thing I can remember. I couldn't remember if we had cows or not, but I can remember those chickens. We had a rooster that used to fly and chase you. Used to get up there and fly right at you, boom! That's my earliest memory.
The rooster chased you?
Huh?
Yeah.
Hang on to
Okay.
it, John.
Can you tell us what your parents were like?
Oh, my parents were real nice. I only got one licking in all the years I was growing up. I'll tell you what it was. I remember my father went in and he got a glass for the cellar window. We had a dog named Princey.
What was the other
Remember
dog's name?
Princey?
Yeah.
Yeah, my father put the glass right up by the steps where you go in the house. Well, Princey comes out and he hits the glass and he broke it and I got a licking for it.
You got blamed?
That's what I remember.
Well, give it to Bill.
Oh, Bill,
What do you want to know?
oh, let me give you a question.
What were your parents like? What
What
would
age
you
was it?
say?
My mother was the greatest. My father could whack you good. When we were kids, Freddie, myself, and Bob would all sit at the bench. They'd start laughing, and my mother would always say, "What are you whacking Billy for? They're just as bad." And that's the bad moment. Okay?
You used to get whacked a lot?
Yeah.
You used to get
'Cause
whacked?
I
I
was
remember that.
right next to him.
Wow.
Boom, he'd go.
He
But
never
I-
whacked me.
Listen, I remember you sleeping in the cow barn down the road, so don't tell me you never got whacked.
He didn't give me a whack. That wasn't his fault.
Yeah, but what happened was, I guess.
Well,
you got
nobody
mad.
asked us who ran away yet.
All night long he's sleeping with the cows.
Why?
There was no cows there.
No, sleeping in the hay barn.
Hey, Barry. Oh, somebody got me mad. I don't know. About
Mom got mad. She was looking
No,
for
they
you.
didn't hit me or nothing.
She was crying looking for you.
Who was?
Mom.
Mom?
Well, I'm the next one.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah.
Well, our father, he was working a lot of, in the factory most of the time. So he would come home, I think he worked the night shift, he'd come home and work on the farm. But my mother, she was with us all the time. And I can remember when Frank and Joe and Mickey were in the service, she was always out to that mailbox looking for a letter from one of them. So my poor mom went through a lot. She had 4 kids in World War II and 1 in Korea. So Ma went through a lot.
Yep.
She was one great woman, yeah.
So now tell us the story about your grandparents. Gross moto?
Gross moto and gross foto.
Yeah.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can start.
The
Tell us
only
the
thing I can remember, I don't remember much because
They
died
died
when
in
I was young.
35 and 37.
And
Yeah,
I think he came up the farm and did the chimney. Was it Grandpa that did the chimney or Uncle Frank Rack?
Uncle Frank
Frank
Rack.
Rack.
So then I don't really, I think I was down there one time, but I don't remember anything at all about my grandparents.
How about your Uncle Bill? Let Uncle Bill go.
Bill, you wanna talk a
The
little
only
bit?
thing I remember about my grandfather, my father took us down one day and I remember him spitting in some kind of a bucket and he gave me a coin. I wish I had the coin today, but I don't remember much. All I know is that Grandma's always talked about him chopping down the peach trees that were up at his lot up here. And I remember when I was a kid, there were grapes up there and I guess he chopped them down too. There you go, that's all I remember.
I remember my grandfather pretty well, but my grandmother, no. I can't say I can remember her.
She died 2 years earlier or something.
I can't remember her, but my grandfather, I don't know if you guys remember, but when we were little, he had his blacksmith shop over underneath a big apple tree we had over there. And his big crank, I used to have to crank that air thing so he could get the fire going, so he could make horseshoes and different things. But he never talked to me. I wanted to learn how to talk German, he wouldn't talk to me. He just showed me what to do and that's it. That's all I remember of him.
We'd like to know when you were young, did you get into any trouble? And what did you do?
Oh,
That you got into
boy, I
trouble?
got
School, tell them about school.
School?
Go ahead, John.
You wanna talk about school? I didn't get in trouble in school.
One time they had to
No,
reinstate you.
well, you know,
Well,
I gotta
Uncle Bill,
hold that
tell-
over
tell
here.
the story.
Okay,
What's, go ahead.
I'll start by telling about the time I cracked up the panel truck.
Oh, gee, I forgot all about that. How old were you then?
Well, I don't know, how old was I, Bill? You were
About 10 or 12.
about 10 or 12.
years
We
old.
had this pasture up the road about a
Mile
mile.
away, yeah.
So we had the cows up there grazing during the day, so
Me.
Billy took me up, but I said, I'm gonna drive the truck home, because I could drive then, you know. Now I was coming down Edward Road by Orchard Road, I was looking in the rearview mirror, and the truck kinda veered to the right.
By itself.
Went right over this here big ravine, and everything flew up in the truck, like the hood flew up and the back, everything flew up. I put everything back together and drove out of there. When I got home, boy, my father was gonna really lay into me, but Ma stopped him. I remember that.
But you did a lot of damage, remember?
I think,
Oh, don't start all that, don't have to tell them all the details.
Not all the details.
Come on.
We want details,
No,
details.
I want to tell about all the damage. It was like $18 damage, that's all
No,
it was.
man,
Yeah,
it
but
was that much, it was that
$18
much.
what's
You know, we had to
$18
fix
worth
that.
today?
You wanna know who fixed that truck first?
Who?
Frank.
Alberti.
Alberti?
No, Mr. Alberti fixed
He
it.
wasn't working for us then.
He didn't work for us, he sure did, we had the tractor that.
Sure,
he
39.
didn't work there.
Sure, that was 1939 he started with the tractor.
Well, that tractor was 36.
Yeah, but I mean, we got it in 39, didn't we?
36, we got a brand new.
Yeah? Yeah.
Oh, when you
F-12?
smashed it up in
36, we got that
39?
from
The F-12?
What?
F-12.
The tractor, you
know,
know,
yeah.
I thought the
Well,
piano
brand
truck
new.
was new.
I didn't know that.
It was $800, I think, or nine.
I thought
John,
it
did
was
you
you.
get into any trouble?
No, $800 or $900.
You get in trouble, she wants to
She
know.
was not in trouble.
What?
Oh, he
Did
was
you
the
get into
same.
any trouble?
Me?
Yeah.
Did I get any? I would never get into trouble. I gotta tell you what my mother always used to say to me. I was the easiest son to raise.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I
Never get
said
in no
that?
trouble. Yep.
Wow. I never heard that.
Bill,
No,
Oh,
I
well,
never
come on
heard
now.
of
Now,
No,
wait
yeah,
a minute,
it's
wait a
grandpa.
minute. I wanna go back to my
yeah.
father. You told me a story once about the hunting dog. Didn't you lose the
Lady.
hunting dog?
Hunt dog, oh, did you wanna know about the hunt dog?
Well,
But
weren't
that
you
was
in
a
trouble
little
that
later
day
on in
because you
years
lost the
though, you
hunting
know.
dog?
That was,
Did you get in
I had
A beagle.
no,
Oh,
English setter, English
His
setter.
name was Lady.
No, the one before that.
Oh,
Didn't you shoot
I
him
had
and he
two of
wouldn't
them.
die?
I had
He
one
kept
of them.
looking at you in the eye.
Huh? Right, wait a minute.
What?
I can't hear you. Bill.
What did he say?
No, you get me on that.
What did he say to me?
I had this little English setter. My father
Shoot him
got
in
me.
the eyes?
Oh,
Did you shoot him and he wouldn't
Dog kept
die?
looking
you won't
at
get me
you.
talking. You won't let me talk.
Go ahead, so anyway, so
We
tell
had this little
us.
English setter. My father gave it to me because I like to go hunting. I was about 16 then. And we raised it all summer long. He used to go out we used to have a lot of pheasants around. Used to go out pointing pheasants and all. So I figured, well, hunting season's coming. So I used to keep them in a greenhouse overnight. It was nice and dry in there. So day of the hunting season, I go out to get the dog and it's gone.
Who took it?
Somebody stole it.
Oh my God.
Stole my English setter. And my father said, well, okay, he says, I'll get you another dog. And probably about 6 months later, he come home with a pointer. And I had that pointer for about 18 years.
A lady.
The lady, her name was, right?
Yeah.
Black and white pointer.
Remember how she died?
Yeah, I remember how she died.
How?
Poor good dog.
How did she
She
die?
got some lead poison.
No.
She got
Bullets.
lead poison.
No, John, no.
Well, what do you get lead poison from?
Oh,
You shot her?
lead poison, yeah.
Where do you get lead
No.
poison from?
You know we had shot her? He had me shoot her.
Oh, because he didn't
Yeah,
have
he
the
didn't
heart.
have the heart.
That's how Bill's turn.
Billy, lead poison she died from. That's what I tell everybody. I didn't tell anybody, no, you did
The
that.
poor
I said,
dog is
"What
looking
the hell
John
did the
right in the
dog
eye."
die? Lead poison. I tell her, I
Now,
tell
what do they
people
wanna know?
about the raccoons.
What's
too.
Billy saying?
Yeah,
What do you, what
Bill.
they, no, I wanna know what the.
Did you ever get in trouble?
No, I never got in no trouble, I was my mother's pet.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thought you
Keep
said you
going.
got
Keep
whacked
going.
all the
Say
time.
some more.
as a
My
kid.
father whacked me plenty of times, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you probably
But for
deserved
no
it.
reason, right?
Only for laughing at the kitchen table, bomb, because he couldn't reach Freddie and Bob.
Me, I was on the other side.
Well, you got whacked plenty of times too, I remember
No,
that.
I never got whacked. No, no.
There you go.
Only one time I told you when the glass broke. It was my fault.
So we know that you three are brothers, but do you have any other siblings and what were they like growing up?
Oh, gee.
Joe,
Go ahead,
Joe,
John,
Joe,
start it
Joe.
off.
Huh? No, Bill, he's good at this.
Okay.
Bill.
Joe was the oldest and he was different, he was a bullhead. And
He's a what?
Bullhead.
Oh,
And
he
then
was
came Carl, and Carl always liked the army and liked uniforms, and that's why he became a fireman, I guess. And then Frank, who was a very hard worker. My God, he could work more than any two people. And then my sister, she
Say her
used to
name.
clean the house, Mary. And then came John.
Mickey.
Mickey, yeah, she was born the 4th of July. And then John liked the tractors and
Yeah.
trucks
That
and
was
stuff
my
like
name,
that.
trucks, tractors.
Tuning up the old Model A with that stud. And then came Freddie. Freddie was always kind of quiet, never said nothing. And he's still quiet, he don't say nothing. Then me and Bob. Bob
say
is the
Bill and
boss.
Bob.
Bob, every time Joe went by, Bob would go, boo! That's the end.
Here you
Now,
go.
Bill, tell them about the toothpaste
That was Carl.
with Carl. Remember that red toothpaste?
Yeah,
Carl was in the army, he brought home some Q, it was called Q, and it was, you could really foam your mouth with it. And so I guess everybody tried it, so when it came time for him to brush the teeth, it was all gone. So he stood by the front door of the house and he flung it across the street, he was so goddamn mad. That was the end of the toothpaste.
you took his toothpaste?
No, you guys all brushed your teeth, you all had foam coming out of your mouth.
Well, you know, the first time you have toothpaste, you think you gotta use a lot of it.
He got so mad, he just flung it over this way here.
Bill told you all about the brothers and our sister. But Carl, he was the happiest of all. He was,
He was always
always
happy,
happy.
go, lucky, go.
When he was in the army, he'd come home, he had these the army uniform with the leggings and the leather leggings and the uniform that's kind of stuck out from your leg there. And I thought he was like a general.
Yeah.
Then he would bring home his buddy
Remember
and
that?
they would be drinking. And they'd have all this here slick stuff on their head. And then when they got drunk and they sit on the couch and then they lean against the wall, and the next day we have big round spots on the wall. And then I remember one time he came home and he was going up the stairs to go to bed, and I guess he was drunk again, and he fell down the stairs and bada boom. But he was a happy guy, I'll tell you that. Carl,
he started the house on fire, it was kerosene, he had the lamp.
he was happy.
Yeah.
Carl was always happy, yeah. All right, John, go ahead.
I think Bob told just about all the story about Carl. He was always a happy-go-lucky fella, yeah. And he loved the army.
Oh yeah, honest. You want to see him?
He
Oh,
wanted-
I wish I had some
Tell him
pictures.
the joke that he told you about, where's the box? That was the first joke I ever heard.
I don't know,
Well,
I can't remember.
Tell the joke.
The joke was this.
This is Bill now.
You ask somebody, where's the box? And they say, what box? The box just stood on the suck the elephant's ass.
Hey, you can't tell that story here, Billy. Christ, this is you're gonna have to delete
I
that.
think that's
No,
good.
we're not gonna do it.
I thought that was great. And one time when he was in the army, one time he was in the army, he's going, halt, halt, and it was a jackass.
So wait, now.
Go on, your turn, John.
Yeah.
I already just got done.
Well,
You
we
didn't
we
say
talked
that.
about
I
Uncle
did.
Carl.
I
Talk
just
about
gotta
Uncle
say,
Frank.
look.
Say something about Uncle Frank, Dan.
Yeah,
We
tell
used
Uncle
to
Frank,
spend a lot of
sure.
time with Uncle
I know.
Frank.
Oh, Uncle Frank and I were good buddies. He used to take me out when I was 15 years old to the card game. And we used to go up to the Vivos. They had a little clubhouse up there. The Italian people had a clubhouse up there.
Oh, yeah,
But they
these
had the
house.
key to get in. And we used to go up there and play cards. Pennies we used to play with. Well, we had a lot of fun with that there. So Frank and I, one night, we're gonna start smoking. So we went around the room and we found all these stogies. Hey, and we started smoking these stogies. Poor Frank, he got so sick, he just about made it home.
How about the time on ice skate New Year's Day?
Oh, yeah, well, that,
1940.
oh, 1941. 1941, I went ice skating up in
Hubbard Park.
Hubbard Park, Maryland, Connecticut. And there was about maybe 6 or 8 of us standing in the crowd there talking, and all at once, the ice let go.
And under it went.
And we thought we were going down to heaven, I mean to hell, because it looked like we were just going to keep on going down and down. But the pond was only about 6 feet deep, in the deepest spot. Most of it was 4 feet. And you would think so. Then we got home.
Who took you home?
I didn't know.
Tony Holloway.
Tony Holloway. Well, we got home, and Mom says, "What happened to you?" Well, we were walking across the brook, and we stepped on the ice, and we fell in the water because the ice broke. We wouldn't tell her we were up at the Hubbard
You were
Park.
under
We
the
told her
ice.
that.
You were under the ice. Frank
No,
had
no,
a patch on his head.
Yeah, Frank got that shot, but then
Somebody had
it
this-
was only about 6 foot deep.
Why,
4
why
feet deep.
didn't you wanna tell her you were at Hubbard Park?
Oh, no, she never let us go if we went to Hubbard Park and fell in the pool and skating. That would be the
You
end of
mean
my
that
skating.
you hid things from your mother?
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
did?
never-
We never hid
When
nothing
a
from
kid
our
gets
mother.
to 13,
She was too
yeah.
smart for us.
Oh, yeah.
She knew all the answers.
She knew before you did it.
Yeah, really. She would never. Oh, here's Bob. He's got a little to say.
I already told my story.
Well, Bill did too. He's
Yeah,
Okay, you gotta ask the
Frank.
next question.
Okay.
Frank got mad one day, and I don't know whatever happened, and so, my mother went shopping, and she brought some candy home, and so she was give Frank some of the candy. He took the candy and he flung it, and then I went looking for it, could never find it. That's the end of the story.
Alright, so while we're on the siblings, let's do a story, tell a story about Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe was the greatest guy gone. He always took us to the carnival and bought us an ice cream cone. The thing that bothered me, when he finished his ice cream cone, he always threw the bottom 3 inches away, and I wish I could have eaten it, because I liked the taste of the cone. There you go, here.
You threw it 3 inches away.
Bottom of the cone.
Always
You
did
wouldn't
that.
eat the cone all the way down. I ate the cone the whole thing.
Me too, I always did.
Well, I'll tell you what, about Uncle Joe. This one time we were working over in Southington, and he had this nice Buick car, you know?
1941.
Oh, no, this was later. This was
56.
Oh, yeah,
in
there
the
was
sixties already,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
oh,
'70s. And this guy from CNS was bringing some material, and Joe's car was in the way for where we was gonna back in. So he said
The guy
to,
told him move the
he
rag.
said to Joe, "Move that rag." Joe almost went crazy.
And who moved it? Tell him what happened. John moved the car. My brother-in-law moved the car and he went down to Andrew Street. Joe was mad as hell to get out. John got in the car, took him for a ride. Oh, did he get mad?
Oh, yeah.
How would you
Well, I
describe?
can remember Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I remember Joe, 1941 when the war started. I didn't have my license yet, but he took me down to get my license.
You drove his old Buick, remember?
Remember, he let me use his Buick.
And he put blowout patches on the tire.
He never was mad though. He says, well, you used it. That was the biggest thing. We had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah, the big Buick, ooh, 37 Buick. Go ahead, Dan.
That was a tank.
How would you describe yourself as a child?
Oh, I don't remember, Diane. Oh, God. I'll let somebody else talk because I don't remember that.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll go first this
Sure.
time. I didn't have the first shot yet, you bet that. I can remember when I was little, we were playing around in the yard, and we'd have these sticks were about probably 6 inches long or 8 inches. We'd put them in our mouth, and we'd make believe we were smoking stogies. And this guy here, John, that's me, fell down and the stick went in the back of his throat.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy, was I sick there.
I
My
guess
father
so.
took me to the doctor. Doctor says he'll live. I'm still living. Here's Bill.
Yeah, we had a happy life, and, I forget what I was gonna tell you about.
Remember things.
Yeah, I think we had a good, you know, wholesome life. We didn't have any of this,
Drugs.
Well, what's going on now, you know, drugs and alcohol and all that kind of crazy stuff. We didn't even know what the town looked like. We were just, you know, farmers out here, and we had our fun here at the farm. It was wholesome fun, you know. Okay, Diane.
Wait.
Okay,
can I
another,
ask you
oops,
one?
I got another one for Joe though. I gotta put Joe in there.
Okay, put Joe in there.
I remember Joe got his first job. He worked over Rudy Myers, 25 cents a day.
25 cents a day.
25 cents a day.
Wow.
Work all day long.
That'd
Come
be in
home
the
at
20s though,
night.
that could've been in the
Yeah.
30s.
But Rudy, he was kind of cheap,
Was
anyway.
that during the Great Depression?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
way
yeah.
back, yeah. After the Depression.
Can we go back to that question about your siblings? 'Cause how about Uncle Freddie? Can you talk about Uncle Freddie?
Well, I can
Oh, yeah,
remember.
Freddie was
Where-
quiet.
Freddie was, yeah,
Freddie
he
was
was
on
quiet.
twice,
and
He was smart though. Freddie was smart.
He was a smart kid in school. He
And
should've
in
went
trouble,
on.
Freddie, he got burned when he was a kid, and he was
Yeah.
laid up for a long time. And
Tell him how
I
he
used to
got
have to
burned.
change the bandage like 3-4 times a day on his
Tell him how he got
legs.
burned.
Well, you can tell that, John.
You
I know it
forgot?
was, but you tell him, John.
Well, we had a broken hole in
That was
the
a
part of
shower.
the handle stayed into the metal part. So he got some gasoline and he must have spilled it all over the ground and he was gonna burn this little piece out. He started up the match and everything got caught on fire and he was right in the middle of the
Oh, he
fire.
got burned
Burnt
bad.
up. All his whole legs were burnt.
Just one leg,
2 legs were burnt.
were they? I thought it was
it.
one.
Here's Bill. That was Fred, yeah, both legs.
Poor Fred had a tough life all the time. All he ever did was work very hard. He worked for Olander, then he went to work for some super farmers down there that were very poor, Fontanella. They only left about $10 million when they died, but that was good. Here you go.
What about when he fell down that, steep embankment?
Oh, yeah, I pushed him.
You did down there.
Bill, yeah,
down
there's
the-
a
down the
story, yeah,
gravel
Bill,
pit.
he's
Huh?
down in,
You
no,
pushed him.
Yeah.
he pushed him down the,
Was over the gravel bank, we were up on top, but I don't know why I pushed him. Then I ran in the house and he came in all dirty and I got whacked for it.
that was your
You
fault.
got whacked a lot, huh?
It was, yeah, well, he was in trouble all the time,
Holy
that guy.
Christ.
Yeah, poor Freddie pushed him down. But poor Freddie went to work in Fontanellas. Who got him the job? Johnny.
That
He
was
got
the
him
worst
the
mistake
job.
he ever did.
He worked over there for a few years and I says to him, Freddie, it's not a job for you, don't work there no more, I'll get you another job. Okay, get me another job. So I went over to see Mr. Suzio because I knew him. And he says, yeah, send him down, I'll have him drive the truck.
See?
Freddie would never go. And if he went there, he would have been a rich man. Because, made a lot of money, people made a lot of money who worked for Suzio's.
Like he did for
Still do.
Fontanella.
Yep. But he worked for Fontanella and got nothing. They didn't even take any social security out, so he didn't get no social security either.
Yeah.
So, here's Bob.
Okay, what's the next question then?
Did you have a nickname, and if so, how did you get it?
Yeah.
It's a wonder I didn't have a nickname, it's just Bob, but Bill gave everybody a nickname. He had nicknames for this guy up the, used to, on Sunday afternoon, he would sit on underneath the maple tree up here with John Collin, and they would talk, and the guy had some kind of, he was in an accident, I guess.
That was Eddie DeVivo that gave
No,
me.
never mind,
No.
you, and Uncle Bill, he gave everybody a name. He gave that guy a name Pushface.
That was Eddie
And then,
DeVivo.
Frank's, Aunt Ruthie, Frank's wife, her sister, I don't know how he got the name, but he called her Pollywog.
She looked like.
He had a nickname for everybody. I don't know, I don't remember half of them, but he had a nickname. He didn't have no nickname for me, no,
No.
but he had nicknames for
But
everybody.
that one on Push Place, that was Eddie DeVivo.
Down in school there, we had these guys from Maine. They were living down there on Carbo Lane, and they were, you know, they were farmers up there. So one day they came to school. They had to drive with their bicycle all the way up Percival Avenue, from the bottom all the way up to the Percival School. And then on the back of their wheel, they put baler twine, so it was like a chain on their wheel. And Bill gave them the name Cow Country. Everybody knew him for Cow Country. He gave everybody a name. The best of them was Pollywog, I guess. Okay, John.
Pollywog, yeah.
What were we
Do
talking
you have
about?
nicknames?
Oh, did I have a nickname?
Sure.
Only thing I can remember, they called me Hansi.
No, Strauss.
Strauss, oh yeah, that there,
Strauss.
Strauss, two after, that was after.
Because he
First was
yodeled,
Hansi.
he yodeled, remember?
He yodeled, yeah, he still, he give us a
Give us
yodel.
a yodel.
This is gonna be a good recording.
No, wait a
Okay,
minute,
Bob.
no, didn't your
Billy.
wife call you the stubborn German? Wasn't that
Who?
one of your wife?
Oh,
My mother?
Franny?
Yeah, didn't she call you
She
the
would-
stubborn German?
No, she would call me, she